Hasta la vista, baby.
Get away from her, you bitch!
I, Iron Man.
Expecto Patronum!
I am your father.
There's a snake in my boot!
What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another movie review. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Today I'm going to be reviewing a new horror film releasing in theaters this week. We're talking about the movie X. Directed by T.I. West, and the movie stars Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, and Brittany Snow. In 1979, a group of young filmmakers are set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when their reclusive, elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast find themselves fighting for their lives. If you ask my honest thoughts, I was actually pretty excited going into this movie after hearing the positive feedback from people that have seen this movie at South by Southwest or recent reviewers. They say one of the most interesting horror films that have come out this past couple of years. I usually like horror films, but I'm not like a big horror junkie, but with the plotline in here and the trailers and the fact that it's A24, like, I'm gonna check out anything A24 puts out. It's A24, they're usually hit or miss for a lot of people, and most of the time A24 is hit for me, but this one's kind of a miss for me. I didn't love it like the majority. This is a very different kind of horror film. Like, this movie has a lot in it. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of just insane things that happen in this movie. But kind of thinking back on it, I didn't really love it, but I more appreciated it. The best thing about this movie is the style and the setting that the movie is going for. It feels like a 70s slasher film, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's totally what I thought of watching this movie. All these characters, these group of young filmmakers go into this bunk in Texas. They have these elderly hosts that are allowing them the space, and it feels like a good way to set up a throwback 70s horror slasher. Performances are great, especially from the perfecta three, I would say. Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, and Brittany Snow. They are definitely the standouts of this movie. Mainly Jenny Ortega. I've been a big fan of this young actress ever since Scream 5 this year. She was one of the best parts of that movie by far, and her performance was my favorite in the film. I really liked how, nervous she was. She was very quiet at the start. And then whenever she sees stuff really going down, she really gets reactive in the best way possible. The deaths that go down are definitely pretty satisfying to watch, especially if you see certain characters that you don't like get what's coming to them. It knows what you want. It gives you the blood and the gore, and it's pretty awesome to watch, honestly. The cinematography for this movie also looked excellent. There's this one sequence where it's completely dark out with this car and there's just blood everywhere. It's pretty impressive shot that they were able to pull that off. Honestly, compared to our lead female characters, I would say the male characters really weren't that interesting to me. And here you have the leader, who's this cowboy, kind of reminded me of Matthew McConaughey. You have this other actor, and you have a cameraman, and you have the old man. I would say they were probably the least interesting characters in this movie by far, and I didn't care to really see their resolutions. Also, it is very strange just watching this movie. There's a lot of, weird allegorical, art going on the screen. There's a lot of naked bodies. There's a lot of weird, strange music. It's like if you kind of mix Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hereditary. I loved Hereditary. That's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But mixed into here, it was very strange and kind of a interesting decision. And by the third act of this movie, it didn't really work for me at the end because I didn't really care about the story going on. And the overall finale, I kind of saw coming, and it's just very strange. The second act of this movie, I was just confused. Like, my brain just like automatically turned off and didn't see what everybody else was seeing. If you love this movie, I'm happy you love this movie, but I had issues with it. I didn't love it like the majority, and can understand why people would say this is a great horror film that portrays and feels like a throwback slasher. I just didn't feel that way at all. Before I give you guys my final overall thoughts and grade for the movie X, if this is your guys' first time checking out the channel and you like this review, definitely hit that like button. Consider clicking that subscribe button if you want weekly reviews, ranking videos on this channel. I provide it for you. If you want that kind of content, you're on the right channel. I would say at the end of the day, X had some really interesting decision making, great filming, great location for a horror film, and I would say it definitely goes for that 70s throwback genre. But at the end, throwing in these weird kind of hereditary aspects didn't really mesh well, and I think the script was kind of a mess at points. I would say this is definitely for die-hard 70s horror fans, but for me, X didn't really work for me. On my rating scale, I'm going to give X a C-. There you have it, guys. That was my thoughts on X. What did you guys think of this movie? If you've seen it, did you love it? Think it was okay? Did you absolutely hate it? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.